this moment in hockey history. Take a look around the set, first of all. The bunker all set for the holiday season, all set for December, all set for the Christmas run. And the Nashville Predators currently find themselves in 5th place in the Central Division. 20 games played already this season. One quarter of the way through the schedule for the 2023-2024 season. And the Nashville Predators find themselves at 10-10 after 20 games. They have 20 points. They're 8 points behind the first place Colorado Avalanche on home ice, where the Predators' next game will take place. They have a record of 7-4. They've scored 67 goals in the season. They've given up 64 against. Now, I mentioned 8 points behind the first place Colorado Avalanche. So let's talk about the Central Division, update you on all things in the standings there before we move on to the matchup between the Nashville Predators and the Pittsburgh Penguins, who will be coming to Bridgestone Arena next. Colorado Avalanche currently in first place after 20 games. 14-6 is their record. They have 28 points overall. The Dallas Stars have skated in one fewer game at 19. They have a record of 12-5-2. They have 26 points, 2 points behind Colorado. The Winnipeg Jets also find themselves at 26 points after 20 games skated. St. Louis Blues have skated in 20 games. They have 23 points and are in 4th place currently. The Nashville Predators are in 5th place after 20 games, an even record of 10-10. The Arizona Coyotes find themselves with 20 points as well, but they have a record of 9-9-2. Minnesota Wild are in 7th place with a record of 5-10-4 for 14 points. Chicago Blackhawks are at 6-13-0 for 12 points, and there are a myriad of things going on around the Chicago Blackhawks. We could do an entire episode, but that's not the beat we focus on. We focus on the Nashville Predators, and their next game will be the first of 2 regular season meetings against the Pittsburgh Penguins. Not until April the 15th, the final game of the regular season, will the Nashville Predators make their one and only stop in Pittsburgh this regular season. Now, once the Preds wrap up this one game against the Pittsburgh Penguins at Bridgestone Arena, Thursday they'll welcome in the Minnesota Wild. Saturday, welcome in the New York Rangers. Then Sunday, be off to Buffalo to face off against the Sabres. On the 5th of December, they'll be in Chicago to take on the Blackhawks. On the 7th of December, back home versus the Tampa Bay Lightning. Injury updates for the Nashville Predators, with Luke Schenn coming off of IR and returning to the lineup. That means only Tommy Novak is on IR, and Glass also on injured reserve for the Nashville Predators. Now, let's talk about the Pittsburgh Penguins, then we'll get into the matchup between these two teams. The Pittsburgh Penguins have skated in 20 games this season, also have an identical record of 10-10-0. They have 20 points, but they are in 6th place in the Metropolitan Division. So the only difference between the East Conference Pittsburgh Penguins and the Western Conference Nashville Predators is 5th place versus 6th place for having the same exact record, same number of points. In their most recent stretch of action, well, before that, let's talk about their road record. 5-4 on the road. Impressive record overall for the Penguins. 63 goals for on the season, 52 goals against. That's a goal differential of +11. The Preds have a goal differential of +3. Now, for that most recent stretch of games for the Pittsburgh Penguins, we go back 5. 11-18 is where we'll start, and it'll be a 4-2 loss at the Carolina Hurricanes, followed up the next day on the 19th with a 3-0 win versus the Vegas Golden Knights. That's an impressive victory right there. On the 22nd of November, a 1-0 loss versus the New York Rangers on home ice. On the 24th of November, a 3-2 loss at the Buffalo Sabres, and most recently, a 3-2 victory versus the Toronto Maple Leafs. Now, taking a look inside the matchup and the individual rankings for these particular teams, goals for the Nashville Predators, 3.35 per game is 13th best in the league, while the Pittsburgh Penguins are generating 3.15 per game. That is 17th best in the NHL. In the goals against category, the Nashville Predators are giving up 3.2 per game. That's 17th, while the Pittsburgh Penguins impressively only giving up 2.6 per game. That is 6th best overall in the entirety of the National Hockey League. In the shots for category, Preds generating 31.3 on net per game. That's 15th best, right there in the middle of the pack, while the Pittsburgh Penguins are generating 33.9 shots on net per game. That is the best overall ranking, first in the NHL. Shots against, Preds are giving up 30.3. That's 16th, while the Pittsburgh Penguins are giving up 31.2. That is 20th rated in the league. Special teams, the Nashville Predators power play converting at 20.7%. That is 17th overall in the National Hockey League, while the Pittsburgh Penguins, you would expect a much higher number of this, only a 12.5% conversion rate. That's 26th in the league. They've only converted 7 times out of 56 power play opportunities on the season. When it comes to the penalty kill, well, the Nashville Predators have not been very good this season. 77.7% is their kill rate. That's 29th in the league. They've given up 18 power play goals against, while the Pittsburgh Penguins are 7th best in the penalty kill category, giving up only 9 power play goals against the season, and a kill rate of 85.7%. Now, it's not going to surprise you when we get into the top 5 individual scores for each of these teams. When I talk about the Pittsburgh Penguins, to find out that Sidney Crosby is leading the Pittsburgh Penguins in scoring 13 goals, 11 assists, 24 points. He just continues rolling on his career, and he always has good games against the Nashville Predators, especially at Bridgestone Arena. So be aware of that. Sidney Crosby, 13-11 for 24 on the season. Jake Gensel, 7-16 for 23. Evgeny Malkin, 9-9 for 18. Carlson, he's the new addition to the Penguins this season, 6-12 for 18. Roman Josi versus Carlson. I usually like that matchup. Usually a lot of fun. Rust, 9-7 for 16 on the season. That's your top 5 scores for the Pittsburgh Penguins. That's Sidney Crosby. He just doesn't seem to age. Philip Forsberg, 11 goals and 14 assists, has 25 points. He would be the overall leader amongst the match between these two. One more point than Sidney Crosby. O'Reilly at 10 goals and 8 assists for 18 points. The captain, Roman Josi, is at 4-11 for 15. Gus Nyquist, 3-12 for 15. And Tommy Novak, still 5th on the team in scoring, even though he's been out on IR now for a little while. 6-6 for 12 points overall. Expected and anticipated goaltending matchup sees UC Saros in net for the Nashville Predators with a record of 7-9-0, 8.98 save percentage, which is actually better than it's been, a 3.05 goals against average. Yes, those numbers still need to improve, but the overall record has certainly improved in these last couple of starts. Tristan Jarry is 7-8-0 on the season, 9.18 save percentage, 2.44 goals against average. That's got you all set up for the Nashville Predators Pittsburgh Penguins, the first of 2 regular season meetings. The Nashville Predators are absolutely red hot right now and putting up some incredible numbers on home ice with a record of 7-4 through the first 20 games of the season. We got to go back and talk about what happened between the Nashville Predators and the Winnipeg Jets. It's called the Rebirth Sports Full Game Recap, and it's coming up next right here on the Renegades of Puck Podcast.